Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Okay, for those of you that joined us last night for our big live giveaway, thank you so much for being there. If you missed it, boy did you miss out. We gave away 10 prizes, including all kinds of accessories. We gave away a record. We even gave away a record player. So stay tuned for notifications in the community feed for upcoming live shows and special events and stuff. You never know. That one was to celebrate 3,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for making that happen. Okay, today we're going to do something kind of different, but very, very interesting. What do a Sega Genesis, analog Sega Genesis, an old VHS tape, and today's high-definition digital world have in common? Not much, you may say, but you may be surprised. We're going to show you something very cool. You're not going to want to miss this.
This is Record-ology.
You heard me right. I said VHS and a Sega Genesis and digital all in the same sentence. Some of you youngsters may not even know what this is, but this is an old analog VHS tape. This is how we watched video back in the day. It's not a bad format at all. I have a lot of VHS tapes. In fact, there's a lot of movies you can't get on Blu-ray or even DVD. And this is a Sega Genesis. For us children of the 80s and 90s, this is something that we had. Now, yours probably look different than this because this is a modern at-games licensed Sega Genesis with built-in games and a slot for playing the old cartridges. But what we're actually here to talk about today is something that will make these old analog formats relevant again. Okay, the company is ClearClick, and the products are the Video to Digital Converter and the HD Video Capture Box Ultimate. Now, we've talked about a couple of ClearClick products in the past, but nothing like this. So let's take a look at this, exactly what it does, and then I'm going to show you how you can use analog formats with this tool to do some really cool stuff. First, we're going to talk about the analog. This is the Video to Digital Converter 2.0. It's a video capture device. It will allow you to connect analog video sources to this device and record it. And it's packaged very, very well. In fact, it's packaged a lot like an iPhone. If you've ever had an iPhone where you don't feel like you should even throw away the box, that's a lot what this feels like. It's just super, super high quality. So we're going to take a look at this in greater detail. Make sure that you're not breaking the law here. So no copyright infringement is allowed. Or stuff that you have the intellectual property rights of. You can use these tools to do some really cool things. Here's the HD box. It does the same thing that the analog one does as well, but it adds HDMI to the mix. So anyway, again, super cool box, but let's take a look at the actual devices. Here they are. Form factor wise, they're very, very similar. They are in a plastic housing, and they've got the connections on the back. The Video 2.0 analog device has RCA input jacks. It's got an HDMI output. It's got a USB jack, I'll show you why in a minute, as well as S-video input and the power supply. The HD box has HDMI in, HDMI out, USB, power, and also an analog AV in. I'll tell you why that's a circle instead of regular composite terminals like that in a second, as well as power. But besides that, they are very similar looking. The HD unit is a bit heavier. It has an internal battery, so you can actually charge this and use it disconnected from the wall. Both have speakers. You can control the sound. They've got on-screen menus, very simple controls, start and stop recording. They've also got infrared capabilities on the HD unit. So the HD unit also comes with a remote, so you can control it with that. It also comes with an HDMI cord. Okay, and then it comes with this really interesting thing here. You've got female composite and RCA cables to a male 3-ring audio and video 1/8" connector. And that allows you on the HD device to plug it into the back here and then hook up your analog source to this end right here. Okay, for this we're going to use the standard definition Video to Digital 2.0, and we're going to use the Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis is an analog output format in this case. So we're going to connect RCA cables from here to here, and we're going to record to this device. Now, how does it record, you may ask? Well, now I mentioned earlier that it's got a USB jack in the back. Now what you can do is plug a thumb drive into that. It'll record whatever's coming through this onto the USB drive. Or if you don't like that, you can put an SD card in the side. Let's take a closer look around the side of the device. All right guys, here's a close look at the device. So very nice rubberized buttons, do a fantastic job. Up here we've got the connection. So there's the power connection, the S-video connection, the composite connections, the HDMI output, as well as the USB. So you can record to USB. There's a speaker right there. And a speaker over here, but you can also put an SD card in here. Now what's really, really neat is you can hook up an external hard drive to that USB jack. It'll power the hard drive and allow you to record tons of footage. You know, depending on, you know, the size of your external hard drive, you can do that. And that's really, really cool. I've tested this thing out. It works flawlessly. It's really, really cool for archiving home videos and things of that nature. And while we're looking closely, here's the HD unit. Very similar, but on the back here, they've condensed the analog into this connector right here, which you can use that adapter for. There's also a microphone input, so you can record narration to your videos, as well as do an HD input through HDMI. And you can do a pass-through as well to an external monitor or to play back your recordings. This also has the USB. It's got the USB to PC jack right there, speakers, and an SD card slot. Okay guys, with everything connected, I'm going to put in my SD card. It goes in upside down on the side. Put your fingernail in there and push it in to click it in. Now we can power it up by pressing and holding the power button. And we will see it come to life. The Video to Digital Converter 2.0 by ClearClick. And this is super, super cool. So you can choose what input you want to use. It's going to have the composite cables as well as the S-video input. In this case, we're using composite because we're using the Sega Genesis. So it's going to default to that. It's also going to begin a counter as well. If you want to change inputs, press Menu, go down to Video Source with the navigation arrows, and simply select S-video. As you can see, this is a very simple thing. You can change the language. You can change the system time and date. You can change the time watermark if you want to have that on or off. Auto start and stop recording. You could tell it SD as a default or USB. In this case, we're using the SD card. You can schedule recordings and do a factory reset if you need, as well as format your SD card. And it's got a place for you to do firmware updates, as well as take a look at what firmware version you are on. Okay, now to get out of the menu, we just hit Menu again, and it has no video source right now, so it's defaulted to this blue. I'm going to turn on the Sega Genesis, and we should see it right here on the screen, which we do. That is awesome. It's also got a volume control, so we're going to be able to hear what we're doing. Off screen, I've got my little controller here, and I'm going to navigate down through the menu here. Let's go down. This is one of those things that has like 5 million built-in games. 10 of them you've heard of, and the rest of them are Chinese knockoffs and weird games that you've never heard of before in your life. But let's go down to Sonic 1. Love Sonic. So here we go. Now we're ready to record. We've got our SD card in. We press record, and it starts recording right up there. So now that we're done with our recording, we press stop. We can turn off our video source, and we now have a recording of whatever we had connected. In this case, it was the Sega. In order to play that back, we're going to hit mode, and then there's our video that we recorded, and we can play it back. Easy as that, you guys. It's an MP4 video, so it's a very mobile-friendly format, and it's as simple as that, you guys. You can listen to your videos and watch them on this device, and then obviously take the memory card out and take that file elsewhere. When you're all done recording, all you have to do is press and hold this, which is the power button, go over here to confirm, and the device shuts off. And it is super cool, super simple, but think of the possibilities of what you can do with this. All right, so that's the standard def one. Let's look at the high def one. Okay, the HD unit looks very similar from the outside. However, it's got a couple different features that are really, really interesting. This one will do anything that the analog device will do and a little bit more. It's a little bit heavier because it's got a built-in battery. So for a period of time, you can go unplugged from here and go mobile in the field, whatever that means for you, to connect to analog or digital video input devices to do recordings, which is really, really cool. Then when you're back home or in the office, you can plug back into power. This one uses a different power adapter than the other one. With it plugged back in, you're going to turn it on just like the other one. Press and hold the power button until the screen comes on. And again, a lot of similar functionality. It does have the added benefit of the remote control. And as you can see, the battery is charged to 100%. Okay, for this, you could do analog with that adapter I showed you, but you can do digital as well. So what are we going to use for our digital source? We are going to use this. This is my Sony Bloggy, about 10 years old now, HD video camera. Do you remember the flip video camera that was really popular? This kind of was riding on the coattails of that device. It basically is designed to do web blogging or video blogging back in the day. It's a little very simple device. It does have an HDMI output, which is why we're going to use it for this test, because we're going to connect it to the device, the recording device, with a special HDMI cable. That's a small jack on this side, and then the other side will be full size. It's got a video record button, power, microphone, and you can take still pictures as well. Video resolution is HD, and the photograph resolution is 12 megapixel. So for 10 years ago, it's really not that bad. I have used this very little, which is a shame because it's a great camera. The only limitation is that it doesn't do that great in low light. And as you can see, compared to the Canon SLR that we normally shoot on, the picture quality won't be quite as good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to film a bit of video with this camera and then import it through the HD device like I just showed you previously. So we're going to cut right now to that footage from the Bloggy camera. Alright guys, and here we are on the Sony Bloggy. The audio isn't going to sound nearly as good because I'm using the on-camera mic, which is like 5 feet away. But this is an HD video source which has been recorded through the ClearClick device. So as you can see, compared to the analog device, the resolution is going to be a lot higher. Obviously, it would have been cool if we had an analog video source to connect to the other device. I originally was going to shoot it in VHS, but unfortunately, I couldn't get the VHS camera working for this show. So I had to improvise. But as you can see, the HD unit has an added capability, but both are super cool. So I was hoping to do a video output straight from here into here in real time. However, the camera doesn't support that. So I pre-recorded the video. Now I've got it hooked up. So what we're going to do is make sure that you're on camera mode. See this icon up here? That's the camera. That means it's ready to record. If you press mode, it goes into playback mode where you can play back the videos that have already been recorded, which is our Sonic video. So we're going to switch it back to record, and it should be ready to take the input now. So I am going to press record up here, and you can see the counter start up here, and then I'm going to play the video from my device. So here we go. Alright guys, and here we are on the Sony Bloggy. The audio isn't going to sound nearly as good because I'm using the on-camera mic, which is like 5 feet away. If you want to own these cool capture devices, check the link in the description below for a very good price, I guarantee it. I hope you guys are excited for Halloween. You got the pumpkins back here. In fact, this evening we're going to carve those bad boys up. Really looking forward to it. I can't believe we're in the holiday season again. I love the holidays. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, you name it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have fun together. I got a lot of cool stuff to share with you guys. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching Record-ology. Stay tuned for a new show every Sunday and Wednesday. Don't forget to hit subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter.